Have you ever wondered why some people can build a life of strength, discipline, and inner peace from the ground up, while you're still spinning in emotional ups and downs, procrastination, and a sense of emptiness? Have you ever woken up one morning full of inspiration, only to end the evening with regret, disappointment, and the feeling, I haven't changed at all? It's not because you're weak. It's not because you lack ability or passion. The problem is, you don't have a clear system for living. You're living by emotions. No foundation, no repetition, no structure. But you can change that starting today. Great Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca understood one thing. Life isn't shaped by fleeting bursts of inspiration, but by the actions you repeat every day. Small, simple, seemingly mundane actions. These are the bedrock of character, discipline, and true inner peace. Without daily habits, there's no depth of wisdom. Without depth, you're just a leaf drifting in the wind of life. In today's video, you'll discover 11 simple but powerful habits drawn from the thousand-year-old wisdom of Stoicism that can transform your life from the roots up. These aren't quick motivational hacks. This is a life architecture, a blueprint for an unshakable mind. If you're ready to embark on a true journey of self-mastery, keep watching. And if you want to join a community practicing discipline and wisdom daily, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay with us for every transformative step ahead. Number 1. Discipline builds freedom. We live in a strange era where freedom is sold as the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want. At first glance, that sounds appealing. No constraints, no limits, living by instinct, emotion, or the natural flow. But the more you live like that, the more chaotic, directionless, and empty you become, without knowing why. Marcus Aurelius wrote that true freedom belongs to those not enslaved by emotions, desires, or bad habits. Here's the paradox most miss. Discipline isn't a prison, it's the path to the deepest freedom. Not freedom to do everything, but freedom from things that don't deserve you. Without discipline, you're a slave to instinct. You know you should wake up early, but you stay in bed because you're not ready. You know you should exercise, but you get sucked into social media. You want to learn, build a career, become better, but your daily actions betray your desires. And you call that freedom? No, that's self-destruction. Disciplined people aren't immune to laziness or lack of motivation. They feel it like everyone else. The difference? They don't let emotions dictate actions. They build a system of habits, rituals, and clear boundaries to remind themselves daily that they're living with purpose. They know who they want to be and don't wait for inspiration to act. Epictetus said, "Freedom isn't getting to do whatever you want, but wanting and doing what's right." Discipline is the bridge between desire and reality. Only those steady enough to cross it truly understand what freedom feels like. Imagine you're a musician. To perform freely on stage, to improvise, to inspire, you need thousands of hours of basic practice. Discipline in practice creates freedom in performance. Life is the same. Discipline in finances frees you from debt. Discipline in eating frees you from health worries. Discipline in thinking frees you from emotional waves. And discipline in action means you know what you're living for. With enough practice, what was once hard becomes natural. Waking early, exercising, reading, journaling, staying silent, responding calmly, these stop being efforts. They become your identity. That's when you're truly free. Stoic philosophy doesn't teach rigidity. It teaches living with principle, with boundaries, with depth. Marcus Aurelius woke each morning reminding himself, "Today I'll meet fools, selfish people, rude people, but I'll live true to my ideals." That wasn't possible without discipline. Every morning, he wrote his thoughts. Every day, he trained his mind against indulgence. And though he was a Roman emperor, He didn't live as someone who could do everything. He lived as someone who could restrain everything. In today's fast, tempting, distraction-filled world, discipline is a superpower. It keeps you from drowning in information, being swept away by the crowd, or being controlled by your own weak impulses. The undisciplined may sprint at first but collapse early. The disciplined walk steadily and never stop. That consistency is the foundation of real success. Want freedom? Start by limiting yourself deliberately. Write down what you won't do today. Do what's important even if you're not excited. Practice silence when emotions surge. Bit by bit, you're building discipline. And each brick of discipline builds a wall, shielding you from chaos, negativity, and your old self. If you're watching this, you likely get that freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's being unbound by what's meaningless. So start today. One small action. Comment below, "I choose discipline for freedom," as a commitment to yourself. And if you find value in this philosophy, like and subscribe. Each week, I share insights to help you build discipline, inner strength, and an unshakable life. This isn't just a video, it's a reminder. Freedom is the reward of a disciplined life. Number 2, habits protect against emotional reactivity. One of the greatest reasons people self-destruct isn't external enemies but internal impulsive emotions. A thoughtless remark, an action in anger, a bad decision while hurt. These leave lasting consequences we underestimate. Ironically, the more modern humans claim the right to express authentic emotions, the more widespread pain and regret become. Stoic philosophy doesn't teach suppressing emotions, but observing and controlling them. The most powerful tool for this isn't theory, it's habits. Repeated behaviors that train your mind to avoid reckless reactions. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens that makes you suffer, but how you respond to it." How do you change your response when instincts are ingrained? Through practice. By building specific daily habits that train your mind to stay calm, pause before reacting, and distinguish between what you can control and what you can't. Imagine starting a day without habits. You wake up, grab your phone, scroll negative news, get sucked into chaotic information, and carry that state all day. A colleague says something harsh, and you snap. A client complains and you feel deeply offended, not because they're unreasonable, but because your mind is fragile and empty. You lack an inner foundation for stability. You react unconsciously. Contrast that with starting your day with solid habits, like waking early, sitting quietly for 5 minutes, writing 3 things you're grateful for, or reading a passage from Seneca or Marcus Aurelius. Your mind enters a different state. When chaos hits, you don't get swept away. When someone insults you, you don't take it personally. You create space between stimulus and response. That space is inner freedom. Habits act as a shield for your mind. Regularly journaling to observe emotions helps you spot patterns in your behavior. You learn what triggers you and avoid it proactively. Meditating or sitting quietly each morning teaches you to observe thoughts without attachment. Slowing your responses trains your nervous system to handle stress without breaking. These don't come from inspiration, but from disciplined daily habits. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone wrongs you, ask, could they have done otherwise with their mind as it is?" This isn't unconditional forgiveness, but peak detached observation. When you habitually view events rationally instead of personalizing them, you feel less pain, less anger, less hurt. You realize your response is a choice, not an obligation. Many think controlling emotions is inauthentic, repressive, or living untrue to themselves. They miss that this truth is destroying them bit by bit. Unchecked outbursts aren't authenticity, they're signs of an untrained mind. Stoicism teaches living true to your ideal self, not your weakest instincts. To reach that, you need a system of habits to support you daily. They don't need to be grand. Just 3 deep breaths before replying to an irritating message. 5 minutes writing your feelings at day's end. A moment's pause to ask, does this action reflect my best self? These small things, compounded over time, make you unshakable. If you've ever said something in anger and regretted it, you're not alone. We all have. But you don't need to stay in that cycle. You can train to be calmer, more rational, stronger from within. The first step is building habits that shield your mind from unconscious emotional reactions. If this resonates, comment, "I train my mind daily" as a commitment to yourself. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone led by emotions. One habit you introduce today might help someone stay calm tomorrow. Number 3, small actions create massive shifts. We're often captivated by grand transformations, dramatic makeovers, or magical moments of change straight out of a novel. We're drawn to stories of someone losing 20 kilograms in months, becoming a millionaire in a year, or finding absolute peace after a meditation retreat. But the truth is, there's no such magic. Real, lasting, profound change doesn't come from a single grand act. It comes from small, consistent, deliberate actions repeated daily. The seemingly trivial things are what quietly shift the entire trajectory of your life. Stoics don't chase explosions. They seek stability. Marcus Aurelius didn't aim to become great overnight. He just tried to live true to his ideals each day. One right action at dawn, one sound thought before sleep, one moment of restraint when insulted, one page of self-reflection daily. These small acts, accumulated over years, shaped a man the world later called the philosopher emperor. His lesson is clear. Transformation comes from small, consistent behaviors. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the workload ahead, the long road, or a lofty goal, pause and remember, you don't need to do it all today. You just need to do one small thing. And do it well. Not to impress, but to build momentum. Writing one journal line daily won't instantly change your life, but after a year, you'll have 365 moments of self-dialogue. Reading one page a day won't make you an expert, but over a decade, you'll outknow 90% of those around you. Choosing silence over an argument once won't make you a sage, but choose it enough and you'll discover the power of self-control. In The Slight Edge, Jeff Olson says easy actions are also easy to skip. Because they're small, they're often dismissed, ignored, or delayed. But grasp the power of compounding and you'll act even without immediate results. That's the mindset of someone with discipline and depth. It's also the Stoic mindset. Do what's right even if the outcome isn't instant. Your actions don't just produce results, they shape who you are. Take a simple act, waking up 15 minutes earlier daily. Not to become successful, but to claim 15 minutes for yourself, to read a bit of philosophy, jot down a thought, or sit in silence, unswayed by the world. It's small, but it resets your mood, reactions, and choices for the day. Do it consistently, and you're no longer someone ruled by emotions. You're someone crafting intentional behavior patterns. Sadly, many undervalue small actions. They believe only big changes are worth starting. That belief keeps them from ever beginning. They wait for motivation, time, or perfect conditions, and never truly start. Stoics know every action, no matter how small, is a vote for your future identity. Each choice declares, "This is who I am and where I'm going." If you feel confused, exhausted, or overwhelmed by the path ahead, know you don't need to see the whole road. Just take one steady step. No need for a perfect plan. Do one small thing today that you know is right. Wash your coffee cup. Turn off your phone 10 minutes before bed. Write one thought. Take 3 deep breaths before reacting. These tiny acts aren't meaningless. They're bricks. You're quietly building a stronger, calmer version of yourself. If this rings true for your journey, comment below. I act small daily as a commitment to yourself. And if you want to join a community building lives on simple, powerful habits, like and subscribe for more. Share this video if you believe a small act today can spark big change tomorrow. Number 4, momentum breeds motivation. A common misconception keeps many people stuck. They wait for inspiration or motivation before acting. They believe efforts without motivation are meaningless. But Stoic philosophy and the experience of countless successful people reveal the truth. Motivation isn't the starting point. It's the result of consistent action. You don't wait for inspiration to begin. You begin, and inspiration follows. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Urge yourself to act, whether your mind wants to or not." This sounds harsh, but holds the power of simple truth. When you start something, even small, you create momentum, making it easier to keep going. Waiting for motivation keeps you stagnant, missing the chance to build that momentum. Momentum creates ease. It saves energy for the next steps, and it ignites the spark of motivation within you. Think of a heavy wheel rolling downhill. At first, it takes effort to get it moving, but once it's rolling, maintaining motion is easier. Similarly, starting a habit, like waking early or journaling, is hardest at the beginning. But sustain it long enough, and you'll want to continue because the action itself generates positive energy and motivation. Take exercise as an example. You don't need to feel excited daily to hit the gym. Just put on your workout clothes, step out, and start. As you move, your body releases endorphins, boosting joy and energy. That's when motivation kicks in. You don't exercise to feel good. You exercise to create that feeling. This simple rule is often overlooked in daily life. Stoics emphasize that life's greatest achievements don't come from fleeting bursts of passion, but from quiet persistence, from maintaining momentum despite challenges. Epictetus said, "It doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop." By keeping moving, even minimally, you send a powerful message to your mind. I'm a doer, not a waiter. Your mind then naturally seeks ways to sustain that motivation. How do you maintain momentum when emotions and willpower waver? Through habits and supportive systems. Habits create repeatable behavior patterns, so you don't rely on willpower each time. Once a behavior becomes a habit, you just step onto the wheel and it keeps rolling. Supportive systems, like a conducive environment, encouraging friends, or a fixed schedule, ensure momentum isn't disrupted. Together, they create a setting where motion flows. Except that the start is always hard. Not everyone sustains momentum easily, especially without experience or after setbacks. But Stoics teach you to see failure as a lesson, an essential part of building momentum. Don't quit because of one slip. Each time you rise and continue, you add to your momentum, creating a new layer of motivation to shield against future procrastination. To sustain momentum, break goals into tiny, immediate steps. Instead of, "I'll run 5 kilometers daily," start with, "I'll walk 10 minutes today." Completing this small step creates a sense of achievement, activating your brain's reward system and boosting motivation to continue. Small steps compound into massive change over time, like the Stoic ripple effect. If you're feeling unmotivated, break out of stillness. Do one small thing now, anything, to create momentum. Momentum will carry you forward. Remember, motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you generate. And only through action does it appear. If you agree, comment below, "I build momentum daily," as a reminder to yourself. If this video resonates, like and subscribe to continue this journey of building discipline and inner strength. Share it with those struggling to find motivation so they understand action is the root of all transformation. Number 5, design your environment for discipline. Discipline isn't just about willpower or persistence. It heavily depends on your environment. In today's world of temptations and distractions, relying solely on willpower to overcome bad habits or procrastination is a losing battle. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that while you can't fully control external events, you can control how you respond to them. Designing an environment that supports discipline is the smartest way to create conditions for living with principle, purpose, and focus. Your environment isn't just your workspace or home. It includes the people you interact with, the habits you've established, and the tools or objects you use daily. If your phone buzzes with constant notifications, if you're surrounded by snacks while trying to lose weight, or if you hang out with friends who procrastinate and make excuses, maintaining discipline is nearly impossible. But if you craft a clean, organized, distraction-free space and surround yourself with inspiring people, you're building a solid foundation that lets your willpower work smarter, not harder. Stoic philosophy teaches you to focus on what's within your control. Your environment is one of those things. You can't control others' thoughts or unexpected events, but you can control how you arrange your living and working spaces. Simple acts like placing books or work tools in plain sight, silencing non-essential phone notifications, or prepping gym clothes the night before reduce friction in maintaining habits. A well-designed environment also minimizes decision fatigue. When you don't have to decide what to wear or eat each morning because it's pre-planned, you save mental energy for what matters most. Steve Jobs famously wore the same black turtleneck daily to cut down on trivial choices, freeing his mind for creative work. This echoes the Stoic principle of simplicity and prioritizing what's essential. Start with small changes. Clear your desk, uninstall addictive apps, make a morning to-do list and stick to it, or create a quiet reading nook. When your environment supports you, discipline stops being a grueling fight and becomes natural. You're not forcing yourself. You're naturally doing what's right. Equally important is curating your relationships. Stoics value discernment in choosing friends and companions to protect their minds from negativity or bad habits. Spending time with pessimistic, lazy, or complaining people drags you down. But being around driven, disciplined, positive individuals inspires and supports your growth. Designing your environment also means preparing mentally for challenges. Set personal rules to avoid temptations, like no phones during work hours, no sweets while dieting, or steering clear of negative gossip. These are proactive barriers to safeguard your inner peace. Remember, environments don't form naturally. They're built consciously and persistently. You may not always control external factors like family or coworkers, but you can adjust your perspective, reactions, and small-scale choices. From carving out a focused personal space to filtering information and interactions, you're crafting an environment that makes discipline instinctive. Stoics don't chase perfection, but believe in daily efforts to improve. A well-designed environment reduces stress, boosts resilience, and keeps you on the path of self-mastery. Pair it with good habits, and you gain not just control over actions, but also inner calm and peace. Take a moment to scan your environment. Ask, what here supports me? What pulls me from my goals? Act today with one small change. Reorganize your desk or mute a distracting app. If this resonates, comment, "I create an environment for discipline" as your commitment. Like, subscribe, and share this video to spread the message of purposeful, disciplined living to others. Number 6, habits build your character. We often think character is innate, unchangeable, or shifts only with age. But Stoic philosophy reveals a different truth. Character is forged by the habits you practice daily. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your actions shape you, not your words or thoughts." Every behavior you repeat, good or bad, molds your identity. Positive habits like patience, honesty, or diligence aren't fleeting acts. They're the bricks forming the foundation of who you are. To change deeply, you don't need to wait for inspiration or a special moment. What matters is examining your current habits and consciously shifting small ones toward the positive. For example, instead of snapping in frustration, practice deep breathing and thinking before reacting. Instead of procrastinating, start with just 10 minutes of work, even without enthusiasm. These small acts, sustained over time, create a new you, calmer, stronger, more reliable. Stoicism doesn't promise overnight transformation, but steady, lasting growth through daily effort. Habits are the language of persistence and resolve. By tending to the small details of your daily actions, you invest in your maturity and resilience. Nothing is more wasteful than grand intentions without practical steps. Building good habits is the most effective way to shape your character for the long haul. Great Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus stressed the power of repetition in forming character. They didn't wait for the right mood to act. They used willpower to create consistent behaviors, building a robust persona to face life's storms. Think of each positive habit as a story you tell the world about who you're becoming. Moreover, good habits boost confidence in facing challenges. Knowing you've overcome procrastination before makes you feel capable. Choosing patience over anger proves you can master emotions. Each instance strengthens your belief in yourself, a key driver of long-term growth. The beauty of habits is their ripple effect. A disciplined person with positive habits inspires and uplifts their community, family, and friends. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just Rome's emperor, but a symbol of integrity and leadership by example. You too can be that in your own sphere by sustaining good habits. Building positive habits requires patience and accepting that setbacks are inevitable. You won't always be perfectly disciplined, but the key is to rise and continue. Stoics teach that resilience isn't never falling. It's standing up right after. Each imperfect moment is a chance to learn and grow. Habits shouldn't feel forced, but aim for harmony between will and ease. When a habit becomes part of your identity, it's no longer a burden, but a source of joy and strength. That's when you truly master yourself and your life. Pause and think of one positive habit you want to build to become a better you. Comment, "I build character through habits," to commit to yourself in this community. Like, subscribe, and share this video if its message resonates with you or your loved ones. The journey to shape your character starts with small actions, and today is the moment to take those first steps. Number 7. Identity grows from repeated action. We often define ourselves through stories, titles, or fleeting emotions. But Stoic philosophy reminds us, your true identity isn't what you say, it's what you do consistently over time. In other words, your identity is the result of small, deliberate actions you choose to repeat daily. This isn't just a profound philosophical idea, it's deeply practical for life and personal growth. When you think about yourself, you might ask, who am I? But the better question is, what have I done? If you consistently help others, persevere in your work, or speak honestly, you're building a solid image of yourself. Conversely, if you procrastinate, deceive, or give up easily, those actions also shape who you are in your own eyes and others. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your actions today are the mirror reflecting your tomorrow." Every day, each choice, big or small, is a brick in the construction of your identity. Instead of waiting for a life-changing event, focus on doing what's right and doing it well in the present. These actions gradually form a chain, making it undeniable who you are and where you're headed. The biggest challenge is staying consistent when novelty and inspiration fade. That's when willpower and discipline kick in. You don't act because you want to, but because you must. This is the mark of a mature identity, not relying on fleeting emotions, but on a system of values built over time. Look at successful athletes, artists, or scientists. Their success often comes not from extraordinary talent, but from relentless daily habits. Every practice, every page read, every hour of study shapes an identity of excellence and resilience. You too can craft the identity you want by repeating positive actions daily. Recognizing the link between actions and identity keeps you from losing your way. When you know today's choices shape tomorrow's you choose more carefully. You learn self-control and clarity, refusing to let emotions or circumstances dictate your path. This is Stoic strength, empowering you to master your life through conscious actions. But it's not just about repeating actions. You must reflect on their meaning and value. Ask, why am I doing this? Does this action reflect who I want to be? Regular self-reflection sustains deeper motivation as you're not just acting mechanically, but with clear awareness of your goals and values. To change, don't wait to feel ready. Pick one small action aligned with your values and do it daily. Over time, as it becomes habit, it shapes your identity. You'll no longer be someone trying to change. You'll be living as your true self. If this inspires you, comment, "I act to build my identity," as a commitment to yourself in this community. Like and subscribe to join us on this journey. Share this video to spread the message that identity isn't something you seek. It's something you create daily through small actions. Number 8, choose simplicity over motivation. In modern life, we're often caught in a whirlwind of fleeting emotions and motivation. One day you're bursting with energy, eager to change and move forward. The next you're exhausted, discouraged, and completely unmotivated. This roller coaster leaves many struggling to maintain discipline or consistent action. Stoic philosophy teaches that instead of relying on fleeting motivation, you should embrace simplicity, stable habits, and systems as your foundation. Simplicity is the most enduring strength. Marcus Aurelius emphasized, "Life becomes simple when you remove what's unnecessary. By keeping things simple, you avoid being swept into pointless worries and distractions." This is crucial for building habits and sustaining discipline. Motivation comes and goes like the wind, but simple systems you create stay and keep you on track. Choosing simplicity doesn't mean abandoning ambition or personal growth. It's about focusing on what truly matters. Instead of overcomplicating things with lengthy plans or lofty, unreachable goals, set small, clear, doable steps. Simplicity removes mental barriers, reduces hesitation, and makes daily action easier. A classic Stoic approach is applying simplicity to challenges. When faced with hardship, Stoics don't dwell on why it happened or why it's unfair. They focus on what they can do, small actions to control themselves and the situation. This keeps them from spiraling into negative emotions and maintains the calm needed to move forward. Practically, simplicity saves mental energy, which is limited daily. Clear, consistent habits mean you don't waste time deciding what or when to do. This avoids decision fatigue, mental exhaustion from too many choices. With simplicity, you channel more energy into actual action. As for motivation, know it's not a prerequisite for starting. Begin with simplicity, a small, certain task. Motivation follows when you feel progress, even minor. This creates a positive cycle. You act, you succeed slightly, you gain motivation, and you act again. This cycle is far stronger and more lasting than waiting for motivation to strike. Simplicity also guards against overwhelm, discipline's enemy. A simple system reduces the risk of quitting because things feel too complex or hard. You focus on essentials one step at a time. When things are simple, Consistency feels achievable, and each day becomes a fresh chance to advance. Stoicism reminds us that simplicity leads to freedom. Unburdened by complexity, you can pour your strength into self-control and responding to what truly matters. Simplifying life cuts chaos and creates space for mental and spiritual growth. If you're stuck in a cycle of low motivation and overload, return to simplicity. Start with small, manageable daily tasks and build simple, sustainable habits. Progress comes from simple, persistent steps, not grand, unsustainable changes. If this resonates, comment "I choose simplicity" as a reminder to yourself. Like and subscribe to catch the next steps in this stoic journey of self-mastery. Share this video to help someone struggling with inconsistency find a simple, effective path forward. Number 9. Rituals reflect your values. Each of us holds core values that shape our perspective, behavior, and way of life. Stoic philosophy teaches that it's not just abstract notions of value that define your life, but the daily rituals, repeated actions, that most clearly reflect those values. Rituals are more than habits or routines. They're deliberate acts that send a message to yourself and the world about the person you respect and aspire to be. Looking back on your life, you'll see that rituals play a vital role in maintaining mental stability and resilience. Seneca said, "Nothing is more precious than the moments you dedicate to refining yourself." These rituals are tools to uphold your convictions and consistency on the path of self-growth. When you perform a ritual, you're not just acting, you're embodying the deeper values it represents. Imagine someone who wakes each morning and spends a few minutes reflecting on the day ahead, anticipating challenges, and planning to face them calmly. This isn't just a habit, it's a ritual embodying the values of preparation, clarity, and self-responsibility. Each time they practice it, they reinforce an identity as a disciplined, purposeful, accountable person. Rituals don't need to be grand or complex. They can be small acts like writing down what you're grateful for before bed, meditating briefly to center yourself, or starting the day with a glass of water to embrace it fully. What matters isn't the scale of the action, but its consistency in the meaning you attach to it. Performed with awareness and sincerity, a ritual becomes a symbol of the values you pursue. Stoicism emphasizes rituals as a way to align the mind and maintain inner peace amid life's challenges. Life is unpredictable, full of events beyond your control, but rituals anchor you to an unshakable core. Epictetus taught that while we can't control circumstances, we can control our responses. Rituals build those responses intentionally and enduringly. Rituals also sharpen focus and shield against distractions in an age of relentless information and temptations. Fixed rituals create a mental safe haven, a practice that returns you to yourself, your goals, and your deepest values. This is crucial for building discipline and inner calm, keeping you from being swept into emotional or external chaos. To create your own rituals, reflect on the values you cherish most: honesty, perseverance, gratitude. Then choose a simple daily action that embodies those values. For example, if you value honesty, make it a ritual to reflect each evening on moments you were truthful and where you could improve. If you value perseverance, start each morning reading a Stoic passage or writing your day's plan with resolve. These rituals not only keep you on track, but deepen your connection to yourself. If this resonates, comment, "I build rituals for my values," to commit to daily growth with this community. Like and subscribe for more inspiring videos. Share this if you believe daily rituals can help someone stay true and steadfast in life. Number 10. Habits are your invisible architecture. When you admire a towering skyscraper or a sturdy bridge spanning a river, you notice its grandeur, elegant design, or the comfort it provides. But beneath these structures lies an invisible framework, the foundation, support beams, and internal systems unseen by the eye, yet essential for strength and longevity. Similarly, in your life, habits are the invisible architecture that forms the foundation of who you are and how you live. Stoic philosophy teaches that it's not grand decisions or rare events that shape you, but the daily habits you repeat quietly and persistently. These habits are the structural framework that defines how you think, feel, and act. They're not easily noticed but profoundly vital, like the hidden architecture that supports a building. A strong foundation withstands storms. Well-crafted habits make you resilient against life's challenges. This means that to transform your life deeply and sustainably, you must start by building positive, systematic, and consistent habits. Relying on fleeting inspiration or sudden bold decisions won't suffice. They're often temporary. Habits are the small actions you repeat daily, and this chain forges the person you become. Want to be healthy? Build habits of eating well and exercising regularly. Want to be calm? Practice habits of positive thinking and emotional control. A key Stoic insight is the need to be acutely aware of which habits are shaping you. Sometimes unnoticed negative or unconscious habits form an invisible architecture that drags you down, leaving you stagnant or directionless. Identifying and actively changing these habits is the first step to redesigning your life's architecture as you envision it. You must become the architect of yourself, crafting a stronger foundation. This process demands patience and clarity. Habits don't change overnight or through fleeting effort, but by creating a system of small, manageable habits aligned with your values, you're gradually constructing a durable structure for your life. Each sustained positive habit is a brick in this invisible architecture, helping you stand firm against turmoil and trials. Real-world evidence shows that successful people rely not just on talent or luck, but on long-term good habits. They dedicate time to habits like daily reading, physical training, maintaining focus, and managing emotions. These habits become a robust foundation, keeping them steady against difficulties and resistant to bad habits' allure. This is the invisible architecture of lasting strength. Understand that this architecture isn't always immediately visible or felt. Like a building takes time to complete, the habits you start today bear fruit in the future. Sustaining and refining them daily ensures your life's architecture grows sustainably, resilient to stress and setbacks. To make your life a sturdy masterpiece, evaluate your current habits and choose positive ones to cultivate. Don't overlook small steps. They're the foundation for going far in your self-development journey. Remember, this invisible architecture is what separates those who thrive from those who falter. If you resonate with this, comment, "I am the architect of my life," to commit to building good habits daily. Like, subscribe, and share this video to spread the message that habits are the invisible architecture crafting a stronger, fuller life. Number 11, identity is a practice, not a discovery. In the journey of self-development, many believe identity is fixed, predetermined, or something to be uncovered. They view finding themselves as a quest for something elusive. Stoic philosophy offers a different perspective. Identity isn't something you discover, it's something you practice and build daily. Identity is a practice, not a discovery. Marcus Aurelius said, "You are not who you were yesterday, but who you are today, and who you'll be tomorrow depends on what you do now." This highlights that identity isn't a destination, but an ongoing journey. It's not something you wait to uncover, but something you create through every choice, action, and decision you make daily. You are constantly becoming, evolving. That's the practice of identity. Viewing identity as a practice frees you from the pressure to find yourself amid life's challenges or changes. Instead of waiting for clarity or a perfect self-definition, you focus on actions aligned with your values and goals each day. Small, consistent actions gradually shape a clearer, more cohesive version of you. This perspective embraces continuous change and growth. You're not bound by past mistakes or current flaws. Each day offers a chance to practice a new identity, to become a better you. By facing challenges with resilience, courage, and self-control, you practice those values and forge your identity. Practicing identity means actively and consciously shaping your life. Knowing you can choose your actions and mindset daily makes you the architect of your identity, not a victim of circumstances or fleeting emotions. This grants true freedom and lays the foundation for a purposeful, meaningful life. Moreover, seeing identity as a practice reduces self-criticism and perfectionism. You don't need to be perfect instantly or always know who you are. Instead, you learn to forgive mistakes, be patient with growth, and focus on consistent practice. This persistence drives lasting change. Stoicism emphasizes that you are the sum of your chosen habits and actions. So invest time in practices that align with your values and goals. These could be daily reading, reflecting on values, exercising, or nightly self-assessment of what you did well and what to improve. Each practice strengthens and builds your identity. Ask yourself, what values do I want to practice to become the person I aspire to be? Start with one small, doable action today. If this resonates, comment, I practice my identity daily as a commitment to yourself and this community. Like, subscribe, and share this video if its message feels meaningful and can inspire others to grow. You've journeyed with me to uncover the profound power of daily habits in building true discipline and deep inner peace. Stoic philosophy doesn't just teach us to endure, it guides us to actively shape our lives through small, repeated actions. Remember, you're not a victim of circumstances or fleeting emotions. You are the architect of your life. Every habit you choose to sustain is a brick in the foundation of your identity, character, and destiny. Take a moment to reflect. What will you do today to move closer to the person you want to be? Start with the simplest actions, the small habits with big meaning. Don't wait for inspiration or motivation. They come and go. Choose persistence, simplicity, and daily practice. That's the path to true freedom and peace. If this video resonated with you, hit like to show support and subscribe to catch more inspiring content. Leave a comment sharing the habit you want to build or a story of how habits have changed your life. Most importantly, share this video with those you care about so we can spread the power of positive habits and Stoic living together. Life is a journey of small daily actions. You can start right now because you deserve a life that's full and meaningful. Begin today.